Yeah. All right. Dope. Thank you guys. Thank the hosts, attendees. All right. So we have a few polls coming up in just a moment. We also want everyone, not just the attendees, but everyone watching. If you have a question about the conducting, facilitating a listening party, please put that in the FAQ question. And so let's go to the polls then, Jen and Anthony. And then panelists, be ready with your key observation or takeaway. All right, the first one, on a scale of 1 to 5 stars. Actually, well, yeah, with 5 being awesome. Please rate your experience during today's listening party. All right, and panelists and attendees, if you guys, and I'm not sure if you heard me, if you could come up with your key takeaway or observation from being part of the listening party. Key takeaway and observation, and we'll give you guys a moment to chat about that. No, I think the poll, yeah. All right. That's good news. Good news. Hey, we're a feedback organization, so glad to hear that this was time well spent, and we want to get better and more efficient. So I'm going to follow up with the person that said pretty good, but. All right, second, the poll. After today's session, how prepared do you feel to host your very own listening party? Super prepared, fairly prepared, and I'm not ready and may need some inspiration. And voila. You're feeling, all right, good. Pretty much kind of the same flow. Lots of folks feeling fairly and super prepared, and other folks needing inspiration. And that's what we're here for. We want to let y'all know, man. Our goal is not just to say everyone feels super prepared. We want you to be super prepared. So if you're not and need more inspiration, we are here. That is the reason why the Ambassador Circle is here to support you. All right, the final poll question is this true, false, or do you have some early thoughts? You have a host crew, a potential topic, and prospective invitees in mind. In mind. All right, fill that poll. All right, early thoughts. Okay, good. That's what we were hoping for. We were hoping that those creative juices start flowing. Thank you for that feedback. We really appreciate it. All right, now I want to give each of, we'll start with the attendees. I want to give you each about 30 seconds to describe your key takeaway or your key observation, especially as you lead forward in the next few weeks up to the elections. CJ, I'm going to start with you. It was really good news to hear. We know a couple of weeks ago you felt like the system of voting was kind of a joke, and that even Americans didn't really take that seriously. What's your key takeaway or observation today from participating?
I mean, it was a good takeaway that, you're not just voting for like the president thing. Even though that's like the biggest one that everyone's going to see, there's definitely smaller issues that you could tackle first in your community to start off with. It's not just all about the president or, like the House of Representatives, Senate, and all that stuff. So I think that was a good takeaway, get informed about your community first, and then you start focusing on like the bigger issues.
Yep. Great observation. Many don't know that the district attorney role is so crucial. When you think about criminal justice reform in your backyard, those roles on there are just so crucial. All right, we'll pop over to Ms. Laura Moreno.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was, really, I doing all the research was really informative for me. And I think the other key takeaway that I had was just this whole decertification thing. no idea. I had no idea about that process. Never knew that existed, didn't exist. So that was super informative for me. And then just finding out how all of the structure within my community, how there may not be a commission there. And so that's interesting to understand. So that was fantastic.
We found ourselves very lucky to have Susie Loftus in our life, who, from a public service kind of point of view, helped educate us, not by telling us, but actually by doing it, by being a police commission president, by running for public office, by being the district attorney of San Francisco. So if you don't have those folks, our hope is that we could also share that information with you as we just did. All right, Ms. Florence, how you doing in Los Angeles? What's your key observation or takeaway?
Ooh, key observation, I would say that more and more that, so many, the police departments are so independent, and every department is so different. And we talked about San Leandro, right? And San Francisco and LA, and the policies are so different and the opportunities are different in every city. So my key takeaway is, as we study up on the issues to vote, it's great to know what's going on nationally, but really for change happens at the local level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Politics is local, right? That's been a slogan for a long, long time, for good reason. All right, coming to you, Becca, your key takeaway.
Yeah, so I just want to reiterate, super lucky to have Susie on the line. I think that was super informative to know that all of those things that I had no idea about. And my main takeaway is that I have a lot more work to do in terms of understanding my own town and the work that I can do here. I think, LT, as you mentioned, I do a lot of social justice work in my everyday job, but that's really on a national scale. And when we get local, it's really San Francisco based. And so it was just an exercise of doing that challenge for me. It was like, oh, wow, you don't know anything about the place you live, and maybe you should start there. So I saw Amy also in the chat. She said she lives in San Leandro. Amy, let's get to work.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome. All right, now for the host team, our facilitators and a recorder, same question to you, Jaya.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know I was answering, but yes, I felt like I cracked open a wealth of knowledge when Susie started talking. I was like, well, so I'm right there with Becca with like, oh, there's even more work to do, because I thought this time around I was more prepared and more informed, but my research can certainly go a lot deeper. And obviously even with, working on Vote with Love, is kind of like, there's more, wait, there's more. There's always more.
LT always describes it as an onion. You unpack it, it keeps peeling away. And to the fact about research, again, that's why we're here. We can't, as the Ambassador Circle, do research in your town, but what we can do is if you send us things you find out, we could kick that back out to the group via email and share resources and share findings, because we are stronger together. All right, Ms. Loftus.
Real quick too, the last thing that really struck me was altogether everyone's like combined knowledge and insights from what they learned from their research. I would never have known that it was difficult to find like the president of the police commission, in another city. Never understood that. So it makes it that much better to do it together.
Yes, indeed. When thinking about your those that you want to invite to your listening party, that's a great thing to keep in mind. Diverse perspectives will bring that information. Different generations will bring different perspectives. Ms. Loftus.
So you say different generations and you go to me? Like, you know what?
We're representing Gen X.
And then for the middle-aged, we have Ms. Loftus. I think, my biggest takeaway is these are quickly going to turn from listening sessions to like collective action, because I could feel the precipice of like, people were like, wait, what? Like, what are we going to do about that? How are we going to make Laura the president of the Vacaville Police Commission that's non-existent? How are we going to get Becca with the police chief and like sort out that community process? Like, and I think Florence said it so well that it felt like we all kind of had a collective aha moment about like local action, and there's state action too, but it just feels like these groups aren't just, it's not about listening. Listening sounds passive. Like, I think a lot of people are tired of listening. They just want to take action, but this process really has you do the work, so you're more empowered to understand a little bit and then engage in the process. And so I think that this is an incredibly powerful way of doing it. And I also think I have to say to everyone, when people like this group get involved who aren't already involved, you're not already an advocate, like your voice is so heard. That has been my experience, is like when your everyday person who's going on with their life decides to engage in criminal justice reform, game changer. That has not happened. And that's why, CJ, you said it best, like, it's common sense you'd have this law. You would never think we don't. And so people keep on thinking that we don't and not getting involved. And so that's my key takeaway is like, this is like, you know, we've started a movement here today.
Yes.
And I saw it.
Yeah, and I'm sure Florence agrees, and for some of the folks that we have on the line right now who are watching, who are part of movements and advocate, I know they're saying, yes, we got to get others involved to help apply this. All right, our key facilitator and the woman who brought these folks together, LT, what's your key takeaway?
Let's see. So my key takeaway just from the host lens is like, I'm so grateful to have Jade, Olivia, and Susie like as a host team. I think if I tried to do this by myself as a lift, it probably would have been a lot. But you know, having you guys to be able to just kind of share the conversation and the load was like money. And then my second takeaway is like having a topic, like a centralized topic for us to center around. Was really helpful. So, you know, if we want to talk about, you know, our water quality in a particular city or community, for example, like we could have a conversation specifically about that, and then talk about, is there anything on the ballot, or, you know, either this year or coming up in future years that is related to, you know, the health of our, you know, and the safety of our water. You know, that's just an example of different other topics. So having a predetermined topic, having a host team to help, using the guide, honestly, is really super helpful, because it gave us just like an agenda. And then one thing we failed to mention is we have social media like toolkit. So we've got like sample graphics and IG story backgrounds and things like that, where like CJ, you could, you know, share what you learned. You know, like just what you were saying about, it's not just the presidential election, you know, it's just as important, if not more important, to stay focused. Like people on your Instagram, like want to hear that from you, CJ, you know, at your age, and you have influence with, you know, your generation, to be able to inspire them to do that. So I just want to encourage all of us that we have our own agency and we can do it.
Yeah. All right, give it up. Everyone give it up for your hosts and the attendees. Thank you very much. All right, so call to action. If you are interested, we just ask that you would, after the session, devote some time to plan your listening party. You know, it takes anywhere from 30 minutes to 90 minutes just to get acquainted with the materials, begin inviting folks. We also ask, you know, you had some folks in mind for your host team, reach out to them today, sooner than later. And say, hey, I want to chat with you about potentially like hosting a virtual session together, and like get that going now. Finally, as LT said, use the host and facilitators guides. They are in both English as well as Spanish, and they'll be emailed out this week. Use the invitation templates. We tried to make it as simple as possible for you. And also think about playing a playlist. We incorporate music to help with that vibe. There might be a certain song that you use as a center. And to LT's point about selecting a topic, now that ballots are being mailed, take a look at your ballot. Now you have actual issues right there that you may want to generate a listening party around. So finally, we're here to support you. Let's stay in touch. And we can't wait to attend or see how some of these listening parties go. And with that, I'm going to transition to Jo, who's playing two roles. But Jo, thanks, and you'll be closing us out.
Of course. Thank you so much. So if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and sign up to host a listening party on our website under the Take Action menu option. Also, as always, be sure to post your photos in your gear and engage with us on social media and use the hashtags Vota con Amor and Vote with Love. Also, let us know if you are interested in spreading the love through a customized discount promo code for your crew. This month, we are celebrating Hispanic Latinx Heritage Month. Once again, we are with a 25% off promo code offer on Vota Con Amor gear. So go ahead and get that. I know I have mine. As we wind down today, the outro song is With Love, written and produced by our very own Courtney Grace, LT, and Jay. As always, please stay safe, healthy, and of course, flex your influence. Peace, man.
There's something going on. It's got me feeling wrong. We've seemed to miss the mark. We're growing fast.